Young-Suk Kim, thank you for coming in today to talk with me about your work. Reading and writing, are so central to functioning in a modern society. Can you say a little bit about that, just to make sure the audience understands how important it is that young people develop these skills at a very early age?
Right. So reading and writing, I mean, we cannot think in this society, I mean, I don't think it's only in the US or in developed countries, but in any parts of the world these days, we cannot think of functioning actually without the ability to read or write. That we need it for daily functions. We also need it for our jobs, right? But of course, I mean, I think that it's really a so-called foundation. I mean, of course, it's not sufficient, right? But it's necessary, I think, ingredient. So there's, I think, several pieces. One, if you go to elementary classrooms, for example, by the time when kids are in 3rd grade, kids are really expected to have reading and writing skills, foundational skills. So they're basically assigned with chapters in social studies or chapters in science. If you look at those texts, they are challenging. And kids who do not have this so-called proficient reading skills, they would not get the meaning out of those texts. And therefore, they're going to struggle in academic learning, right? But so that's kind of a more immediate, I think, very immediate consequences. But studies have consistently shown that kids who don't develop, say, foundational reading skills by 3rd grade, they are likely to drop out. They don't really obtain high, paying jobs. Other things that I don't think people kind of immediately think about is what it does to your mind. We learn so much through reading. So by reading, our minds grow, right? And our thinking skills grow. So if you look at developmental models of reading, it actually starts from as soon as kids are born, because the foundation of reading is oral language, and oral language develops, very, very early, right? To all the way to college, because, the basic skills such as, how to decode, develops early in pre-K, kindergarten, grades 1 and 2. But this kind of comprehension, what's involved in comprehension, such as thinking skills, continue to grow all the way to college. How to understand multiple viewpoints and how to integrate information. Those are through the medium of written text, right? So that's why I think reading and writing are so crucial. And a lot of people who already have proficient reading skills, they kind of forget about it because they become automatic.
Yeah, taken for granted.
Exactly. So it doesn't take a lot of efforts for them. But then if you look at the process of acquiring that skill, if you really work with kids, say pre-K to about grade 3, it takes a lot of efforts and practices and laborious, for a lot of kids, it takes so much mental efforts, right? So our goal is to help that process a little bit, easier for kids, so that everyone becomes successful readers and writers.
Yeah, and foundational, as you say, not just for academic success in the labor market, but for just being able to function in the larger society.
Absolutely.
And in particular as democratic citizens.
Yes.
And you think about kind of the historical origins of mass education in the U.S., as very much about kind of the need to develop basic literacy in people so that they're able to function as effective democratic citizens, to self-govern.